is going to reach out to. Welcome to StoryTime with Stephanie, a platform for independent authors to share their stories of transformation, self-help, education, and sometimes pure entertainment. Want to grow with us on this journey and support these up and coming authors? Subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss an episode. I'm your host, Stephanie Outen, the literary doula. Are you ready for the show? Let's do this. Hello. Greetings and welcome everyone to Storytime with Stephanie. I am so grateful that you all have joined us, whether you're going to join us live or on the replay. But tonight is a very special episode. It was pre-recorded because we were having some scheduling conflicts, but I had the awesome opportunity to talk to this young lady, Naomi Deberry, in regards to her story, this wonderful story that centers around organ transplantation. And I do hope and pray that after you hear her story, that you too, if you are not already, will consider being an organ donor. Share this out, share with others so that they can hear this powerful story and be able to rally around such an amazing cause. So we are going to get into the story. I pray that you'll stick with us until the end and that, again, you'll share this out with others. If you have any questions or comments, you can feel free to put them into the comments. Naomi and her family are going to be showing up towards the end of the show, I believe. If not, they're going to be checking the comments as well, and they are going to respond to any questions or comments that you have. So get ready for the show. A young author with me today, and her name is Naomi Deberry. So I'm going to share a little bit about Naomi, and we're going to get right into this interview. So Naomi's life is a sacred example of being raised in love and by a village of family, church, teachers, artists, ministers, musicians, and more. Beyond being a stellar student, violinist, dancer, gardener, Lego guru, and author, Naomi is a child of God. I love to hear that. Her passion and care for others is at the core of her book, My Daddy Needs a Gift. As a child who has experienced the scare of losing a parent, Naomi has made it her mission to encourage others of all ages to be healthy and, more importantly, to cherish family. Someday she hopes to become a transplant surgeon and help others, other families, the way her family was helped. And so Naomi is the author of this amazing book, My Daddy Needs a Gift. And it's a semi-autobiographical children's book about a young girl's experience with her father's need for a kidney transplant, teaching children about organ donation and community support. The book, written by the author at age 11, follows her journey to raise awareness and help her father find a donor, making a complex medical topic accessible and inspiring for other kids facing similar situations. It includes illustrations by Jasmine T. Mills and a glossary to explain transplant-related terms. And so I am joined by Naomi, and I'm so happy to have you. How are you doing, Naomi?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much. So tell me, now you're about 13, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about this journey that you underwent where you had a parent who was in need of a kidney transplant. What brought you to the place of deciding that you wanted to write a book about it?
I originally did not know that my father had kidney disease. Mm-hmm. He was diagnosed with it before I was even born.
Oh, wow.
So he had kidney disease it was like a 10-year span. And at first he wasn't on dialysis. So I didn't really realize that he was sick. But when it got to about that 9th year, he had to start doing at-home dialysis.
Okay.
And I was highly confused. I didn't understand anything that was going on. I didn't even know what a kidney was because I was only about 6 years old at that time.
Yeah.
And what encouraged me to write the book was so that other children wouldn't have to feel necessarily the same way I did, that they would have a resource that was easy and accessible to them so that they could understand things better than I did.
That's so awesome. I love that. And so, as your father was going through home kidney dialysis, how were you learning? Did you have a nurse that was coming in to set up the dialysis? Did your mom have to go through and learn how to set him up on dialysis? What was the process that you used to actually learn about, you know, dialysis, what the kidney does, and, you know, how to walk someone through, you know, a process like this in a book?
Honestly, I really, because again, I was so young, I didn't really learn about how to set up dialysis. It was mainly my dad and my mom who would set it up. They had like booklets and things of how to do it at home.
Mhm.
But besides that, I just kind of observed, just seeing what was going on around me, seeing what does this thing do and how does that connect to this other thing here? And all this somehow connects to my dad at the end of the day. And I kind of just had to watch and listen and just notice something that I had never seen before. And one of the memories that I have of when my dad started doing dialysis at home is that we had all these dialysis boxes. And there were
Mm,
so many of them that they were stacked up to the ceiling. And at that point, our home wasn't a home. It had become an at-home clinic.
yeah.
And that's kind of how I grew up for that next year to year and a half.
Wow. You know what? It's so interesting because for about 4 years, I actually worked for a company that specialized in dialysis. And so just hearing you tell me, understanding, you know, the process, because I used to have to train employees in what the kidney does, what dialysis is all about. And so to hear you say that, you know, you as this young girl, you were observing, you were kind of mentally taking notes, you were watching what your father was going through. It's taking me back to those days where, you know, here I was having to train in this process when I didn't even fully understand what it was either, right? And having gone into clinics and having seen dialysis done from a clinic perspective, not having seen it done at home, hearing your experience just opens up a new door, a new gateway. And so when you think about your book, what age range would you say that you wrote it for?
I wrote it for kids. That's what I had planned it for.
Mhm.
That was what my thought was, but it turns out that not only that it helped kids, but it helped adults realize, like, the terms that they thought they might have known, or that even if they didn't know, they were able to learn it and understand it a lot better.
Yeah. And so now, kind of what stage is your dad at in his kidney journey?
It'll be 6 years this year. So, since the transplant. So,
Okay.
everything's good, he's doing fine. Our donor, Aisha, is our cousin, and she donated the kidney to him. She's doing great. So, everyone that was involved in the process is doing great.
Oh, I love to hear that. I love to hear that. And so, even when it came to that process of your dad having to find a donor, how much information did your family share with you in regards to this is what your dad needs? Like what was that conversation like?
I If my dad talks about having a conversation with me,
Mm,
I honestly don't really remember it, but what I do remember is, like, he's gonna have a transplant, and
mm,
I'm like, "Well, what does that mean? Can we explain that a little better?" I just was, like, all over the place because at that same time, COVID had just hit,
oh,
and so it was just so overwhelming. I just switched over to online school. Everything was just kind of like a rush. And so when I had to learn that, like, my dad's having a kidney transplant, what does that mean? What is a kidney transplant? What's a kidney? What's a transplant, right? And so that's something that I kind of learned later. And honestly, I learned more about those whole processes after he had the transplant. And that's when I had to really sit down and do research and discover more about that.
Okay. Okay. And so even when you wrote the book, it was written after he had his transplant?
And I think,
And
my bad.
no, it's okay. You go ahead.
I think partly some of it was that my parents did want to protect me and they still really wanted me to have a childhood and not having to stress about worrying about a parent.
Mm. And so here he is now on this stage where he has received his kidney transplant, right? He's doing better. Your cousin, being the donor, she's doing better. Here you now have written this book. What are some of the things that you've done to promote the book, to go and share this message with others, especially, kids around your same age range, to help them really understand what it feels like, one, to be the child of a parent who, has had some type of illness, one, but it's most specifically, kidney challenges where they have to now go through the process of a transplant.
I have did many things, including book signings, book talks. I was at the Kidney Walk,
Okay.
and I was able to meet a lot of people who had maybe not necessarily had their parents having kidney issues. Maybe it was them, maybe it was their child, but anyway, they were connected to someone that they knew that had kidney disease at the end of the day.
Okay.
Another example, I was at last September, I was at the conference called AMAT, which stands for the Association of Multicultural Affairs and Transplantation.
Mm.
And by being there, I was able to not only learn a lot about kidneys, I was able to learn a lot about other organs. And one of the things that taught me was that I was able to I was able to have my eyes open to a new perspective and to
Mm.
a new point of view. And other people were able to do the same because a lot of the time, people don't think about the recipient's families. They're generally focused on the recipient.
Mhm.
And by that, a lot of people are like, I never even thought of that. I never even thought about a recipient's child, how that would have felt for them. And I was just able to learn a lot in both ways.
Mm. So I know that you've been kind of sharing this gift, this gift of being the child of someone who has received a transplant, and you've written this amazing book to share with others. And you've actually had the chance to be on the Tamron Hall show a couple of times. You also, as your mom shared with me, you were, I guess, inducted. Times Magazine had its first ever Girls of the Year list. So for 2025, you were actually on that list, right? How did that feel to you to receive such a great honor, to be able to receive it from a place of, wow, I was just doing something to help others navigate a process that was, difficult yet interesting and informative for me. And here I was just trying to help others. And now look at these accolades that I've received. Tell me what that feels like for you.
I mean, honestly, you really put how it felt. Me and my parents, we never expected the book to travel that far.
Wow.
We just did it as like trying to inform people about it. I never would have thought, let alone time, honoring me. And ironically, me and my mom, we were packing for me to go do a medical program at UC Berkeley. And
Look at you.
my mom gets an email from Time Magazine. And at first she's like, Time Magazine, why would they be emailing me? And she's like, this has got to be spam. But like, they like sent her another email. My mom was like, let me check this out. And it was legitimately Time. And like, they were just like, we just want parental consent to make you one of Time Magazine's Girls of the Year. We don't know how they found us. We don't know anything. It's really just been a true blessing and be able to promote my message all across the world.
That's a true testament to when God is in the midst, great things can happen. And when you are obedient and you fulfill the purpose and the calling that he has for your life, he'll make those great things happen. And I think that's pretty much what has happened for you. And I see this just being another like stepping stone and a platform for you to continue to share this message. When you shared earlier about wanting to be in your bio, you shared about wanting to be a transplant surgeon, right? And for someone at your age to have such a lofty goal, it comes out of your lived experience, seeing your father go through this. And now here you want to dedicate your life to being able to help others have life. So tell me how you actually kind of got to that place of deciding this is what you want to do.
It was the day of the transplant, and me and my mom drove my dad to the hospital real early in the morning. I think we had got there like 5:30.
Okay.
And the rest of our some of our other family is arriving, cousins and aunts and uncles, and we're sitting there, and it's just like so long. And then I remember telling my mom, I said, "This is what I want to do. I want to help people the way that these doctors were able to help my dad." And not only them being able to help my dad, but being able to help me and my mom,
Yeah.
because we get to create so many more memories with him. We get to spend time with him, and that life that they were able to regift to him
Mm,
just makes a huge difference. And I'm so thankful to God that not only the doctors were able to perform the surgery, that he was able to get a kidney and that it is in perfect function. And so it's really just been a true blessing. And I think God's purpose, I think for me, what he put me on this earth for is to help people.
oh
Ever
yeah.
since I can remember, I've always wanted to help people. That's all I've ever wanted to do. And so I think that is what God put me here for, and I'm excited to see where he takes me.
What I love is that you said regifting, right? That this whole process of giving an organ is a regifting. And so, one, the gift is we have life, but to regift is now to give someone the ability to sustain that life, right? By giving them an organ. And so, with March being National Kidney Donor Awareness Month, um, this is an opportunity for you too, especially to continue to promote your platform, continue to promote the book, which is My Daddy Needs a Gift. And this is an initiative where I see you as a young Black female being able to really shed light on why this is important for African Americans to know, right? And for African Americans to consider. So if you had to make a plea to African Americans, to young Black women, young Black men, to say, become an organ donor, what would you say to that person to help them recognize the magnitude of being able to help regift life to someone?
I would start off by saying, wow, it would be great if we could have so many people that were willing to sign up to be organ donors. It's not for everyone. Some people have religious beliefs on why they wouldn't do it. Some people are afraid, but I think if you are willing to do it, then you definitely should. You can really help save someone's life.
Mhm.
And their African Americans are generally the biggest minority, the biggest group of people that need transplants. And kidneys are generally some of the ones that people need most often, because like you can one of the great things about kidneys is that you can give one and still live. You
Yes.
don't necessarily have to have both of your you don't have to die to give a kidney.
Yes.
There are some cases where things like that do happen, but I think it's important that people can see that too and know that you can help save someone, but you can keep some of that with you as well. A lot of people are scared to do it, but I think if we can get people informed,
Mhm.
maybe if you don't want to donate, tell someone else who might be interested in donating. Keep spreading the word constantly, because if we can get, the more people we can get informed, the more lives we can change and the more lives we can save.
Yes, I love that. And I even understand now too, after, having talked with your mom about the National Links organization, that they have decided to make kidney disease their initiative and their focus for this year. And I think that is in such, um, that is one, so amazing, right? But two, it's just a testament to the great work that you've been doing to make kidney disease an initiative that people want to put at the forefront, right? It's something that we have to know about, talk about, continue to share. And so many times people don't understand about, the process of kidney failure. How can you even go into kidney failure? That there could be acute kidney failure or traumatic, right? So there's the chronic one where it's like you have some type of illness or something that has prompted your kidney to not function at full capacity. But then there's also some that just happens from maybe an accident, something triggered that, caused a situation to cause your kidney to now not, perform at full function. And so being able to even understand those things, and diet is also a big thing, right? And so, especially in the African American community, where we love a meal, we love a good meal, and we may not eat some of the things that are always best for our bodies, and so we have to be very mindful of those things as well, to understand how they can impact the various organs. And so, even when you think about making that plea to individuals to become organ donors, right? It's even going a step further to say, make sure that you're taking care of your body
Yes.
so that you can be a donor that is not just willing, but is actually able
Yeah.
to give. And so, hearing so much about your story, I would love to have you have the book next to you.
I do.
All right, let's show it on the screen.
Here is the book. I know
How-
the glare might be a little thick, but
Oh, I love it. That's
as
so beautiful.
we
And so
have,
Jasmine T. Mills was your illustrator?
mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'll show some of the glossary in the back.
Okay.
So here is some of the glossary. You see the pages. There are many different terms ranging from procurement agencies, transplants, and we also have photos at the back.
Nice. So those are your actual family photos.
Mm-hmm. And here's some photos from the transplant and the dialysis processes.
Excellent.
So
I love it. So it's not even just informational. It's also a keepsake. It's something that is a lasting legacy for your family as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you have done something so beautiful, something that is so, I know your family is just so proud of you for what you've done to bring not just your dad's experience to light, but to utilize his experience to shed light on something that is so critical, something that is so important for all of us to know about. And so, as you continue to navigate, especially throughout this year, where here you are as one of Time's magazine's Girls of the Year, and this is going to extend through the year, correct? Like through, I think, August of this year. What are some of the things that you'll be able to continue to do to shed light on kidney awareness, kidney organ donation throughout the year, especially in this role as one of Times Magazine's Girls of the Year?
I will be talking to other people in Memphis and South Carolina. I'll be in South Carolina. I'll actually be talking to some doctors. So that's going to be a new perspective, and to see what maybe they can learn from me and what I can learn from them to help me on my journey. And so Also, just promoting the book, making sure that it gets spread across to have it as far as we can take it. And also just, trying to make sure that it's important to realize that you have to like think about how this also affects other people and to try to make sure that you're not affecting other people's lives in a way that they might not think about it. I'm not trying to do this for fame. I'm not trying to do this for any other reasons. People have called me things that I'm not going to say, but
Really?
it's been a challenge, and I have to remember that God is still in control, but even where I'm going places, just don't let that get me down. And
Mhm.
so that's kind of what I have to remember. Even when I'm going, people are not always going to be happy for me. And I'm glad I learned that lesson sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
That's always been a part of going and talking to people.
You are such a wise young lady. And I just, it's my pleasure actually to sit here and to talk with you and to hear you. Um, I'm so disheartened when I hear you say that, you've been called names and people have said things about you. But what lifts my spirit is hearing you say that, you know, you know God's purpose and his plans for your life, and you know that they are good, right? And you are a pearl of great price. You are his amazing masterpiece. And so, because you already know your identity, what others say about you or say to you, it doesn't matter because you're framed according to his perfect will for you. And so that's why you'll be able to continue to go on. And that's why you'll be able to continue to spread your wings and share this message and become the transplant surgeon that you have already been ordained to be. And I love when you said that doctors will learn from you just as much as you will learn from them. And that's so true because I think you, in your 13 years, have so much lived experience already, and you have so much to share. And I am just so proud of you. It's as if I know you. I'm so proud of you and just how you just embody such a spirit of wisdom. Your parents have done a phenomenal job with you. And I know that nothing but the best is going to continue to come for you. And so let's talk a little bit about how people can connect with you, how they can purchase the book. So we're running across the screen right now. The book can be purchased at www.naomicreatesjoy.com. Naomicreatesjoy.com. And is the book only sold on your website, or can it be purchased in other places as well?
It's sold on my website. It's currently on Amazon. It is also, if you ask your local bookstores to order it, you can request it and they should be able to get it in. So support local bookstores as well. So
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Support local bookstores, but support Naomi directly by purchasing it from her website, Naomi Creates Joy, because that gives her an opportunity. One, she should profit. She should profit from what she has done, this great work, right? Do you do anything with the profits that you do receive from the book? Meaning, have you been able to, one, maybe put aside funds for, college? Are you using those funds to pour into, organ transplantation, transplant support? What are some of the things that you've been able to do with the profits and the proceeds that you've made from the book so far?
Well, currently I am saving. Hopefully I can get scholarships for college, but
Yes.
it's important that I think to save, I do tithes and offering.
Excellent.
That's important. So for right now, we're just keeping it pretty low profile. We're just gonna leave it for now.
Okay.
And when something comes, if it's something about organ, if I want to donate it to someone or to a charity or something, then I can be able to do that.
Very good. Very good. And so you are on Instagram at Naomi Creates Joy. And that again is Naomi Creates Joy on Instagram. And tell us a little bit about that handle. Why did you specifically choose that handle?
I just love creating joy. I try to be as joyful as I can, always just try to be positive every day. And so I think we were like, that's a perfect name for it. And so that's how we just said, we'll throw this together. And it works. So
I love it. I love it. And so, where will you be next? Is there anywhere that I know you shared earlier about some of the things that you're going to be doing, but do you have any vending opportunities where people can come out and connect with you, to meet with you in person, to purchase the book?
I believe it is in.
And it's okay if
I
you
know my
can't.
mom knows my schedule better than I do
I
because
was
I
gonna
go to school,
Yeah,
but I'm trying to think. But
that's okay. We'll get those things from your mom because we'll make sure they get added to the show notes so that way people can stay connected. I'm sure it'll also be on your social media as well, on your Instagram at Naomi Creates Joy, so that folks can connect with you there, see what your schedule looks like, where you're going to be, and also give you other opportunities as well to be on some additional, podcasts and shows, because you definitely have a message that needs to continue to be shared. So, do you have any parting words that you want to share before we close the show?
um, I can close with one of my favorite scriptures, which
Okay.
is it comes from the book of Psalms. It's Psalms 139, verses 17 through 18. And it says, how precious are God's thoughts of you? How great are the sum of them? If you should count them, they are more in number than the sand by the sea.
Oh, look, I got speechless for a second. I am just so encouraged and inspired by you, Naomi. You are truly a gift. You are a gift that will continue to give across the world. I'm so happy to hear about your dad, his recovery, your cousin, that she's recovering well. And I'm grateful even to your mom for allowing us to have this time in the space with you today. So I pray God's greatest blessings over you, that you will continue to thrive and flourish in everything that you do, and that you will always recognize your wealth and your identity, and your worth, right? And who you are and who you've been created to be, and continue to inspire other, young people like yourself to go out there and do great things. And maybe it's not your desire to, author more books, and that's okay, because you'll have a lot of studying to do as a transplant surgeon. But if you decide to write any other books, I know that they're going to flourish just as this one is going to flourish. And I just thank you. I thank you for giving us this opportunity to share you, with the Storytime with Stephanie audience. So I appreciate you. God bless you. And I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in tonight. Again, you can purchase Naomi's book at www.naomicreatesjoy, and you can follow her on social media at the same handle, at Naomi Creates Joy, because she truly does create joy. And so I just want to thank everyone for joining us tonight. Thank you for tuning in to our show and just being, inspired and encouraged by the stories that we share. So thank you for joining us tonight. Good night, and God bless you. I'm just talking and y'all can't hear me because I was on mute. That was a very special pre-recorded episode of Storytime with Stephanie with author Naomi Deberry, who's also, Times Magazine's Girl of the Year for 2025. She wrote the book My Daddy Needs a Gift, and her story was just so inspiring, especially to be such a young lady. You don't often find young ladies who are so full of wisdom the way that Naomi is. And I just know that in everything that she does, she is going to flourish. And I appreciate her just spending that time with me that she did. I appreciate her mom, for giving us the opportunity to interview her and spend some time with her. our schedules were really off. And so we had to pre-record, but it was just such an honor to be in her presence and to share her story with you all. So my daddy needs a gift. And if you know of anyone who might be interested in being an organ donor, but haven't taken the steps to do so, you can literally do it when you go to the DMV and they put it on your driver's license. It is such a privilege to be able to give or regift life to someone. And so Naomi's father's story, and the fact that her cousin was the transplant, the donor, it's just amazing that someone in the family was able to do that. And so I'm just grateful. Thank you all for showing up tonight, whether you were here live with us or watching on the replay. We appreciate you. This is season 9 of Storytime with Stephanie. And we have one final episode of our show, which will air and it will be live, and it will air on Monday, March the 23rd. With our very final guest of Storytime with Stephanie. It's been my privilege and my honor to serve over 9 seasons of this show. And I'm just thankful for all of you who have been a part of the Storytime with Stephanie family. So I'm not closing it out as if tonight is the last show. I'm just, sharing my thoughts. And so I look forward to seeing everyone for our final show on Monday, March the 23rd at 7 p.m. Eastern, right here on YouTube at It's Storytime with Stephanie. So thank you all for joining us tonight. God bless you and have a good evening. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Storytime with Stephanie. StephanieOuten.com for more information. We'll see you next time.